but it then creates the loyalty when they graduate. And all of us work hard at that. I know my colleagues here at Case and Akron, they do the same thing because it's very important.
Dr. Coleman, I take a different role.
Oh.
A good deal of our conversation today has been about what I'll generally call applied science. Would you comment on the role of the humanities, art, history, literature?
Sure.
Thank you.
One of the things that I encourage students to do when they're at Michigan, regardless of their major, is to go to the art museums, go to the Natural History Museum, go to University Musical Society performances. We provide half-price cheap tickets for students because we want them to experience world-class music when they come, and it's extraordinarily important. And all the things that we've done, including that 100 new professors that we're hiring, this is not only in the sciences. Our departments and schools have to compete for the positions, but we want the arts to compete as well. We've just completely renovated and built a new wing on our art museum, $41 million project. Most of it was privately funded, but I threw in $15 million because I thought it was important for the university to have an appropriate place to house its art collection, to have increased programming for our students. So we work very hard on the arts side as well as on the sciences side. I'm delighted that the way our campus is sort of configured, we have a north campus that's about a mile away from the central campus, and on that campus are housed engineering, music theater and dance, art and design, and architecture. And we have a circumstance now where the 5 deans, or 4 deans, and we have one more school of information up there, are working very closely together to bring the art in closer contact with the engineering. We ran a design competition 18 months ago on the North Campus, the Works Project. We had 30 teams of faculty, students from everywhere from engineering to design to create public art space interactive for the North Campus. And I think the team that won, I think we had 2 teams that won, and we asked them to put their ideas together, and we're going to build this thing that they have envisioned. Included people from architecture, art, engineering. It's getting that together that's so important, and I think that's what a large university provides, is that milieu and that opportunity to have these disciplines all work together, because the engineers are in their heart of heart designers. They're artists. They need that. They have creativity too, and they just sometimes need the artists to help them figure out how to make it happen.
Dr. Coleman, I just wonder what's going to happen to those 1,000 new ideas.
The pitches?
Yes.
Well, we put them on YouTube because we hoped that somebody out there would see it and want to invest. And we had winners of the competition, and I think we're trying to get some funding for the winners so that they can make their ideas become a reality. But I hope the 1,000 Pitches becomes an annual event on the campus, because there's nothing to sort of rev up the juices of our students is that kind of competition. You know, the other thing that this was built on, and I started noticing this about 5 years ago when we would have our opening convocation and the students would all be seated out there, the 6,000 new students, and our head of admissions would get up and talk about how fabulous the class was. Every class is more fabulous than the last. I could never get into Michigan with my high school grades now, but nevertheless, there's wonderful students. And what struck me was, in these 6,000 students, that 10% of them had started a business while they were still in high school. That 600 students in our freshman class were already little budding entrepreneurs. And so why should we beat that out of them while they're in college? Let's get them to keep thinking about developing ideas. And who knows, maybe somebody will come in and invest and they'll become the next Larry Page, by the way, of Google, who was a graduate of the University of Michigan.
Dr. Coleman, President Obama has spoken about the fact that he, during his presidency, would like to see a playoff in college football.
I knew the football question would come.
If he asked you why there isn't a playoff system yet and what needs to happen to make a playoff system, how would you respond?
I would first start by saying if it's up to the university presidents, it will never happen. The second thing I would say is that I don't want to be like the pros. I like the fact that the regular season is the most important in college football. We get our fan base, we get revved up about it. Nobody's waiting for a playoff. I love the fact that 64 teams get to go to bowl games, and there are 32 winners. You can go back to your campus and you win the Alamo Bowl, and you're a winner. Why did you want that? Of course you want it. Who cares? I mean, I don't really care that there's a national champion or not. What I care is a lot of young people get to participate. There's a whole bunch of winners, and our whole system is based on having a robust regular season, so the economics don't work. I don't think the culture works. I don't think it's right for U.S. higher education.
Thank you. I'm a graduate of Michigan Law School, which I'm proud to be.
Oh, love
Go
it.
Blue. And I'd like to ask, that was almost a segue to my question. First, I hear a lot of times that, oh, the sports programs make a lot of money for the university. But yet I hear other people say if you really cost out all the money that's spent on the stadiums and the training, that the sports programs really don't make money at all, or to the extent they make it, they just plow it right back into sports. And secondly, and I will say from the time I observed, there was a fraternity house or a dorm, and that's where all the athletes seemed to be, as this was years ago. And to what extent do the athletes get the full university experience, or are they in their own little separate world where 30 hours a week of practice is all that counts, and if they can make it to class, they don't? This is not a question generically to the University of Michigan, but just all schools that have a strong sports program.
Sure. So let me try. I have to base it on my experience at Michigan. I am a huge proponent of intercollegiate sports. I really do believe it's something that's very, very special about U.S. higher education, whether it's Division III, Division I, whatever. I think we should promote it. Of course, we want to provide optimal educational opportunities for the students. In Michigan, we try hard not to isolate the athletes. We try hard to provide the right kind of academic support, given the punishing schedules that they have for their competitions. I will tell you, at Michigan, athletics is truly self-supporting, including the buildings. I mean, we don't put a dime into it. In fact, because of the development of the Big Ten network that many of you know about, that was a very lucrative deal for the Big Ten institutions. Michigan Athletics contributes $2 million a year to our need-based scholarship fund. That's like an endowment of $40 million for the regular university. And I think all the Big Ten schools are doing something of that order because of this television contract that came through. So for me, when I look at not only the revenue-generating sports like football and basketball, but the opportunity for kids to do gymnastics. You know, football supports everything else, tennis, rowing, track, whatever. It is a tremendous experience, and we need to work hard to make sure that athletics is not exploitive, that it's not draining the resources of the university. But I would argue that having a good intercollegiate athletics program is worthwhile, and that universities should participate if they need to. And my son went to Williams College. They had Division III athletics. It was very robust. The kids loved it. It was wonderful, and it added to the college experience that he had at Williams. So I'm a big proponent, but obviously we have to do it right.
Today at the City Club of Cleveland, we have been listening to Dr. Mary Sue Coleman, President of the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. Thank you, Dr. Coleman. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This forum is now adjourned.
For information on upcoming speakers or for podcasts of the City Club, go to cityclub.org.